Hi guys, and welcome to my Ace Tanker for the T-34-85M, a tank I reviewed on the channel quite recently, and a tank I wasn't too impressed with. We are here in Prokhorovka. I'm just gonna get going because it's quite a long replay. I'm platooned with Tanza, who is also in his T-34-85M, and our team are actually looking very, very good. Now, I don't do a lot in this game. I said it in the review that basically this tank, when it gets top tier, and thankfully this is a top tier game, it's a tier 6 game and I'm top tier, but when in a tier 6 game this tank is actually quite good. The armor works, the gun is okay, you don't have to fire a lot of premium ammo, but in a tier 7 game the tank is very, very, very average. And then finally in a tier 8 game, because this tank doesn't get special matchmaking, I think the tank is absolutely terrible. It's a medium tank with very, very poor mobility, very, very poor top speed, even though on paper it looks quite good. I did about 30-35 kilometers all the way up into this position, and I'm using binocs because the view range on the tank isn't fantastic. So really, I'm playing quite aggressively. Tanza has gone up the hill, and that shot I was quite lucky to hit. The shot actually didn't go near the M4, but managed to sneak in. So I've finally been spotted, got a couple of shots here. Now I do hit quite a few blind shots in this game. And again, I'm being quite aggressive. The enemy team haven't sent anyone up to D6, so there's no one in a position to be able to counter me. So I'm able to use this rock to keep the side of my tank safe, and that shot must have hit another enemy tank because that was dead on target. Now this was about my 5th or 6th game in the tank, and it hadn't impressed me up to this point. And as you can see, against tier 6s and below, the accuracy, or the penetration is fine. It's got a very, very, very subpar gun. 126mm of penetration, 160 alpha damage. I cover all of this in the review in more detail. The premium ammo isn't fantastic either. 167 with 160 alpha damage. It's okay, especially when you're top tier. The accuracy of 0.42 can let you down when you're taking snapshots, but it's okay if you let it aim in fully. Again, the tank likes to troll you. Sometimes you can hit all your shots, and other times you miss everything. So Churchill 7 has moved up, and I'm finally not able to use my spot anymore. Now, to bore you guys, it'll let you in on a secret. In this entire game, I only move 1 kilometer. So I pretty much played the entire game from this position. So you can see I went for his machine gun port, and I'm switching to premium ammo because I bounced. And premium ammo is enough to go through his turret. So moving forward, and we bounce. But thankfully our team take him out. So I'm switching back to regular ammunition. Hetzer's moving up, and regular AP bounces on a Hetzer, so I have a feeling this is going to hurt. So, unfortunately, even though this is an armored tank, it doesn't save you against HE, so I take 157 damage, put a shot into the Hetzer, and that's my first kill of the game. So I found a lot of my games in this tank were really, really boring. It's not an exciting tank, and that's probably one of the biggest criticisms I had of the tank. It plays like a heavy tank, maybe a little bit more like the KV-85 regarding speed and maneuverability, but it's got a gun that definitely isn't as good. So I'm just looking for shots. And against tier 6s, I'll say it again, it's actually okay. When enemy tanks give you their sides, don't know where that shot went. There's that accuracy. So continuing to fire blind here. And unfortunate to hit the railway track. So another blind shot, and we take out the SU-100. So our team are winning very, very comfortably. I'm only up to about 1200 damage at this point. But as I say, quite a few of my blind shots actually do damage tanks. And in a medium tank, I'd love to be a little bit more aggressive, but as I say, I struggle to call this a medium tank. So again, going for weak spots on the KV-2, and we've taken him out. So the rate of fire is good, and when you can pen enemy tanks, the DPM is very, very good. But it may not be an exciting game, but as it's my first Ace Tanker, as you probably know if you're familiar with my channel, first Ace Tankers always have to go up on the channel, no matter how good or how bad they are. So our team are starting to move in. There's a KV-85 and a Cheeto in the middle, but the enemy team still have 3 TDs, and those 3 TDs are all unspotted. So they're all camping down in the corner. And when you let the gun fully aim in, the accuracy is okay. Okay, so we're up to 1800 damage, 1900 damage. Running out of targets to shoot. 3 tanks left on the enemy team. Was going to advance, but then an archer appears. And in a medium tank, this is where I'd love to charge in, but unfortunately, targets keep appearing, and this tank, you're going to see it here. It accelerates quite slowly. Oh, maybe you don't see it, I'm thinking of a different replay. Anyway, fully aimed. And the accuracy is okay. So overall, I think this is a very, very unimpressive tank. As I said, I go into a lot more detail in the review. A lot of games I played in this tank were very, very average and quite uninteresting. A lot like this one. So on XVM, we did 2k damage and finished up with 4 kills. Unfortunately, whatreplays.com doesn't allow uploads of T-34-85M games, or even Gross Tractor games, both tanks that were released on Christmas Eve. Won't allow you to upload them to What Replays, but I did take some screenshots, and as you can see, that was the Ace Tanker. We also finished up with a Confederate and a high caliber. Now, I did hit quite a few blind shots, as you could see. Even though XVM only recorded 2,000 damage, we actually did 2,815 damage with 4 kills. So the DPM on the tank is very, very good. The rate of fire is good, and the accuracy is okay if you're sniping. But if you're taking snapshots, it can let you down. Tanza had a good game as well. As you see, we both finished top 2, but 1209 XP with the 4 kills. Very, very happy with that game. But as I say, so many games in this tank are just boring. Moving on, we fired 26, hit 21, and penned 18. Now, that's the performance from the gun in a tier 6 game when you're top tier. The gun does not perform like that in tier 7 or tier 8 games. But a nice amount of damage, and we spotted 4, thanks to the fact I was using binocs. Damaged 11, destroyed 4, and did 1,000 assistance damage. And we ended up earning 59,000, or almost 59,500 credits with a premium account. Now, someone pointed out in the comments, I can't remember who it was, but someone pointed out in the comments in the T-34-85M review that basically what Wargaming were asking for this tank was more money than a Super Pershing costs. And I was thinking about that comment, and it was a very, very good point. You see, the T-34-85M is a tier 6 medium tank, but it's armoured, and it's not particularly fast or maneuverable, so it plays more like a heavy tank, just like the Super Pershing does, which is an armoured medium tank at tier 8. But it costs the same, and the gun on the T-34-85M is competitive at its own tier and suffers against higher tiers because it doesn't get special matchmaking. Whereas the Super Pershing does actually get special matchmaking. It won't see tier 10s. Also, I was thinking about the money I'm making in the T-34-85M, and this was a very, very good game. I did almost 3k damage, and I still only earned 60,000 credits, which you would probably earn in an average game in a Super Pershing. And the fact that the two tanks were priced roughly around the same. In fact, the T-34-85M was a little bit more expensive in its package. If you didn't want gold and if you didn't want the premium time that Wargaming threw in for the cost, then you know what? The Super Pershing is probably a better tank, even though the Super Pershing isn't a great tank. But anyway, we're getting off topic here. It wasn't my first game of the day. I was playing games for the review, so 1813 XP with a premium account with a bonus thrown in, and that left me on 2,356. But yeah, that was my first Ace Tanker in the T-34-85M. It's a very, very average tank. And now I did say in my review that the tank was very, very average. It was very, very boring, but you know what? It was probably worth it. And I just want to remind people that that's based on the fact that the only other premium medium tank for Russian tank crews is the Matilda 4, and I think that is a terrible, terrible gun on a pretty good tank. And I would much rather be playing the T-34-85M rather than the Matilda 4 because you earn more credits, and even when you do get it into a tier 8 game, at least you're able to do some damage and you could still earn credits in it. You don't feel as helpless in this tank as you do in a Matilda 4 sometimes. But having said that, I also did point out that I would probably, if you're on the fence about this tank, I would probably wait and see what Wargaming introduce as a tier 8 premium tank for Russian medium crews, because the tank really is underwhelming. But as I say, if you want to find out more information about this tank, check out the review. As per always, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.